How's it going, everyone? So today, just kind of messing around. Sorry, my spinal cord stimulator's beeping. So today, just kind of messing around, and since I still can't wear headphones, I'm just gonna put some songs on through the PA and record through. I'll show you. Well, I can't really show you because it's hooked up to the device, but I'm using a USB external. So it just basically takes any device and then turns it to stereo. I'm using the Shure MV88. So it's a great mic. It's a fantastic mic. You can change the polarity. You can make it mono. It has 4 different capsules in it. So you can make it stereo, directional, like an instrument mic, mono. You can change the spread of how much of a stereo it's what the angle is of the stereo pickup. It has different modes for singing, for band, for vocals, all speech, all sorts of different stuff. It's a fantastic one, and it's in the cheaper end of the range, compared to, the really nice ones. But it comes with a stand, a tripod, the cables, the microphone, everything, and it's like $200. But it's worth its weight in gold to just be able to take around with you and quickly record. Is it going to give you the best quality like, studio mics are? No. But it'll make, because most people don't know, but devices have mono mics like iPads, PCs, Macs, whatever, have mono microphones, including phones. If you take and you plug in the USB, then it immediately turns not only higher quality, but it turns it into a stereo microphone. So you're getting left and right rather than just one mono signal. So just food for thought. But yeah, so just kind of playing along, and I'm going to turn the PA on and just kind of see what happens. I'm choosing random songs like I usually do, just going autoplay. So you never know what happens when you're doing live learns. Oh, Charles. And it's that short. Ooh, that sounds cool. I might turn that on next. Let me turn the camera up here so you can see my face a little bit better. I was trying to get it so you could see my feet too, but let's just do it up at this angle. Okay. So, and what I meant by Charles Bertude, bass player, and just incredible bass player. So, obviously he's playing Stairway to Heaven, but his phrasing is different, and so I was kind of, same type of feel and same type of, playing within the same meter, but then I had to kind of figure out, wait, how's he phrasing things? Because a little bit different than the regular song. So now let's see what comes on here. This is Charles reacting to another bassist, and he did so well that Charles gave him a free bass for this solo. So it might be
doing great. So about a month ago, I asked all of you to play the best solos. Yeah, that was really nice. That was really musical. I love the intro where he was tapping.
Okay, let's try something else, because it's gonna be all reaction. Then I don't know if I'm just gonna be able to play to it. So let's go to a different autoplay. Thanks for bearing with me, guys. I'll edit this video and kind of chop it up too. But sometimes I like just turning it on and kind of see how you guys go through my process and just kind of how I feel the music and what I'm doing when I'm doing it. And then that's ultimately the goal, kind of, is you want to be able to just speak through your instrument at the time you want to speak through it, regardless if you've heard the song or not. Of course, the better way to practice is practicing patterns first. You want to get the patterns at slow, medium, and fast tempos. Lots of patterns. Like, I'm talking a couple books at least worth of patterns. You're going to find that those patterns fit 90% of all the music out there, especially Western music in 4/4. Now, if you're playing stuff that's, odd time or world music, Indian, African, Afro-Cuban, that kind of stuff, might not be the case. But if you're just playing 4/4 and you're mostly just playing 2 and 4 on the snare, then if you learn the patterns first, I guarantee you that's the way to go. Just learn the pattern, like take your primary pattern, 1 and 3 on the bass drums, 2 and 4 on the snare. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and just nice and relaxed, and even slower than that if you need to. That kind of idea, and then speed it up a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and up. And then even faster than that. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. That kind of idea, because I guarantee you, if you practice them that way and nice and clean, and nothing's changing, it's all up-down motion, right? You're just doing it faster, okay? So, and I know the tendency is the faster you go, you want to tighten up, right? More muscle, that kind of thing. You want to do the complete opposite, the opposite. Tension is the enemy of flow, okay? And I know it's like a Buddhist saying or that kind of thing, but it's 100% true. If you're holding tension before you've even played the note, it's going to be way more difficult than if you just flow with it and let it flow. Up-down motion. Time your motion so that the upstroke is during the rests, if you will, or the time you have in between notes, then coming down on the notes. Okay? And then just speeding that motion up. But that's why if you play wrist and fingers, French grip would be this way, mostly all fingers, a little bit of wrist. But see, your wrist locks in this position. That's why you don't want to necessarily learn to play that way out the gate, because your wrist locks here. Now watch. Immediately turn your wrist down. Look how far range of motion you have now. I can even go past parallel with my arm. Parallel would be here. I can bring it back down here. So now this gives you all this range of motion simply by going from here and being locked to here, and then having all this range of motion. Plus, when you're in this position, German, or now commonly referred to as American grip, then you can use wrist and fingers. Wrist and fingers. That's how you're playing a open double stroke. Wrist, fingers, wrist, fingers, wrist, fingers, rather than fingers, 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 that kind of thing. So it actually gives you ability to not only get different dynamics, but play with a different technique and also get more range of motion, okay? So I highly, highly recommend that you practice that way, because what's going to happen is you're going to get into a habit of playing that way, and once people start to play faster, It happens to all of us. Technique goes out the window. Technique goes completely out the window. You'll find that you start to tighten up, right, where you should see more of a loose space here. So because that's where the stick is flexing back up into. If you have a tight grip, right, you're only bringing it up as far as your wrists will allow, rather than flicking the stick back with your fingers, bringing it forward. Flick, down. So if you hold the stick right, it'll pop right back up into your hand. So if you see how it chokes the sound, and it chokes your rebound. So you want to treat it like bouncing a ball, okay? Not saying that you can't play with French grip. You want to be able to play with all types of grips. But to train your muscle memory first, it's much better to do that. Last but not least, before we move on to the next part, just kind of doing a little lesson video here because I promised one of my friends I'd do a lesson video, and I want to make sure I do that. Same thing with your foot. Okay, we call this playing heel down, where you're pushing from here down, right? So you're kind of like pushing your ankle down that way, which is going to burn out your shin muscle. It's not going to allow you to play faster, and it's not going to allow you to play quick 16ths with one pedal. Okay? You might be able to do 8 notes, that kind of thing, but I guarantee you if you play like this for a whole set with heel down, your shin's going to burn out, and you're not going to sound as clean, and then your muscles are going to burn out. Now, if all you do is just raise your heel off the ground a little bit, now you're playing from the hip and using the weight of your leg. And hear how much power I get to. Heel down, heel up. Okay? And with heel up, then the motion for a double stroke is toe, ball, all in one motion. So as the leg raises, that's the first strike. As the foot drops, that's the second strike. So then that way you can learn to play faster 16ths. So a lot of syncopation involves that. And if you're playing single bass drum pedal, it's very important. Just like you have to practice double strokes in your hands, same thing with the bass drum. And now you're working with a pedal, with tension, with springs, with a footboard, right? So you have to learn how to use the device or use your gear. At the same time, you're developing your technique. Now you can feather. This is called feathering. See, it's really it's like when you're bored in class and you're twitching your leg on the ground, that kind of thing. That's the kind of motion for feathering. And then for your 16ths, or double stroke 16ths. So it's really just, it's in the ankle motion, using toe and ball, and then also playing from the hip. Now if you play ankle down, you might be able to get, certain grooves out or certain things out, but I promise you, as you start to play faster, as you start to play 16ths with one bass drum paddle, if you start to have to play songs that are 10 minutes long, fast, and with 16ths, heel up all the way. Heel up all the way. Okay? I promise. Now, there are multiple different techniques, okay? There are, toe, ball, heel, or ball, heel, toe, ball, heel, toe. So you can get like multiple strikes out of one, but usually I just do toe, ball, ball if I'm doing 3 strikes. That kind of thing on one bass drum pedal. So then really, even though I have double bass drum pedals, I hardly ever use them because I'm able to play 16ths with one bass drum pedal most of the time. It's just usually if I'm doing, highly suggest you get used to playing those on one bass drum pedal. Okay? I'm going to end this video now just because this is its own kind of video and just for fun, that kind of thing, and it's already 15 minutes long. And then I'm going to start another video playing to some songs, okay? Hope everyone's doing well out there. Love you guys. And I hope that, you know, the end there, that kind of helps with showing some of the technique things that you want to develop. I promise you guys, heel up is going to help tremendously. I see a lot of people playing heel down, and yeah, sure, that'll work. You know, if you're on an electric kit, it doesn't matter so much because it's creating a synthetic sound for you. But if you're playing faster tempos or you want to play 16ths with one bass drum pedal, even on an electric kit, heel up all the way, okay? And I'm not saying that your heel has to be, you know, way off the ground to where you're like this. I just mean just raise just a bit, you know, maybe like an inch, that kind of money. That way, at least you have, see how you have all this room to move your ankle? We call it being penguin-toed, so not pigeon-toed, but penguin-toed. So your ankles are in towards you a little bit. Now look at all the room I have to float my heel out here. Now if my heel is right over the heel plate, I stop right here, right? But if I'm out here, I have all this range of motion out here. Okay? So maybe that'll help a little bit with some bass drum technique. And then, like I said, I will stop this video and start another one for playing some songs, okay? Hope you guys are doing well. Bye.